We're only a few days away, and you can feel the tension and the election coming up. You can look at COVID and feel once again a lot of tension. Perhaps in your own families and in your own circumstances, there's a lot of anxiety and tension. And the other day we started a whole new project of masses in the weekends at our valley parishes. And it's kind of a temporary way to get us through this time. And at first, we had this crucifix that we were using for our evening masses here on Sundays. It's a crucifix that originally came from Our Lady of Peace. And when we were trying to get the stage set up to the altar and the sanctuary, at first we could only find just a place just behind the altar to put the crucifix, and it looked okay. And then all of a sudden somebody said, "Hey, but this was a stage. Like, we're in this gym that we've turned into a sanctuary, and we had these risers go up where the altar was, and right behind we're going to just put the crucifix with the curtain." Somebody had the brilliant idea: draw the curtains and put the crucifix back within where the stage is, and then light up that crucifix back there. Oh, that changed everything, because it wasn't just one-dimensional anymore. Now there was a totally another dimension behind in which the crucifix could be seen, and then you could see the altar, and it just gave such depth to this experience that we had for the first time this weekend. I was joking around. I said, no longer are we going to be shooting three-pointers, but we'll make a lot of Hail Mary passes. Be no longer fouls being called in here, but if you have any fouls, you can go to the sin bin and get them forgiven. And they all wanted the scoreboard to stay on because they wanted to keep a shot clock on my homily time, but that didn't happen either. But what did happen was this added dimension. Maybe in our lives, the drama is being played out just between us and the faces that we see. Maybe it be political faces. Maybe it be the faces of people with masks on. Maybe it be the faces of our own family. But the question that seemingly Paul brings out is that there is a dimension behind this kind of front stage focus that we kind of have everything put into. And that's the dimension where the devil wants to do his greatest work. We need to pull the curtains back and really put in there the crucifix of Jesus Christ and allow him, through his word, to be that sword that does the battle for us. St. Paul's very clear about this, that it's not just this kind of stage in which everybody can see and hear faces that counts. It's that behind the scenes that truly counts. It's almost like that Wizard of Oz moment that we need to have. And St. Paul says the way to defend ourselves is through the word. In other words, at least this happens to me, I seem to go to confession and confess the same sins over and over and over again. I seem to get into the same routine, which sometimes does not lead me into a greater life in Jesus. And it seems to happen with patterns. At some point, we need to pull the curtain back and say, how can the Word of God, the sword of the Spirit, pierce these things forever and allow my life to be freed from that and allow the Lord to do the work of holiness that he wants to do in us. So perhaps today's a day for us to kind of pull back those curtains. Look at that kind of routine of the same sins that we always tend to confess. Search the Word of God and allow the Word of God to be that sword that pierces through that, so that it's through the heart of Christ, the passion of Christ, the cross of Christ, that we conquer.